McCullin. Now, the full title of the first part of the Hobbit trilogy, An Unexpected Journey, refers to the adventure taken by its mild-mannered hero Bilbo Baggins, but it could equally apply to its star Martin Freeman. His journey as an actor has taken him from playing a lovelorn white-collar worker in The Office, Ricky Gervais' deadpan comedy, to playing a fantasy creature in a mythical world of dwarves, orcs and elves. The unexpected journey from Tim Canterbury to Bilbo Baggins via John Watson in Sherlock Holmes has been achieved with a minimum of on-screen fuss. Martin Freeman is the master of actorly understatement, even when confronted with characters like Gollum, played by Andy Serkis.
My name is Bilbo Baggins.
Bagginses? What is Bagginses, precious?
I'm a hobbit from the Shire.
Oh, we like goblinses, batses and fishes, but we hasn't tried hobbitses before.
Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis in the scene from The Hobbit. Director Peter Jackson had said he was desperate for Freeman to play Bilbo Baggins, so was the feeling mutual?
Yes, I did. I did really want it. And the closer I got to it, the closer it got to it being a reality, the more you want it, because my process in getting it, my journey with it was, I went up for it when it was Guillermo del Toro who was at the helm. And it seemed so sort of far off to me, because over the years I'd heard rumours about, you should play Bilbo Baggins, and fans saying that, and Andy Serkis had bumped into me once in Soho and said, has anyone ever spoken to you about playing Bilbo? And I said, well, no, not at all. And he said, well, I think we bear it in mind, because I think it's going to come along your way at some point. But it's still, it's very silly, I think, to kind of think, one day I'll be doing it, because cut to you're not doing it, and then it's disappointing.
Were you a Hobbit fan? Had you read it as a kid?
No, I hadn't. It wasn't part of my universe. No, Tolkien wasn't. So I read it with a real application of playing it as playing Bilbo. So I didn't really read it just as a punter. I read it for professional purposes, and I was surprised actually by how much I liked it, and I was surprised by the tone of it.
Liked him and liked Bill, because I presume you're reading the book and thinking, well, I'm going to have to play this character.
Absolutely,
I'm going to have to get inside the mind of this very settled, domestic, conservative character.
He is quite conservative, and I, there's enough in there that was sort of relatable to, but different from me as well. But also the thing is, you're not really looking for things that, how much is he like me, but just how much can I play him, and how much is he someone that I could do something with. And even if I didn't think I could do something with it, that what Peter was saying was so sort of adamant that I should play him, he would have convinced me anyway. Even if I hadn't thought I could do something with him, I'd had to sort of believe him, because he was so single-minded about it. It was a huge compliment.
Even though you had other commitments, because you were still filming Sherlock, and in fact I think he rearranged the filming schedule, didn't he, to allow you to go and to resume your duties as Watson.
He did, he did, and because the Hobbit had I had to walk away from the Hobbit at one point, because I didn't think I'd be able to do it. So I had, by the time the call came through from Peter or from my agent that Peter had rearranged it, I had said goodbye to it mentally. It had gone
reluctantly.
Very reluctantly. But I was rehearsing a play in London at the time. I got a call at lunchtime and that it was back on, because he had made it so that I could do both. So I was, delighted and very, very relieved,
the sense of jeopardy within the book and the film is that Bilbo Baggins is this very comfortable, secure character who potters around his hobbit hole, reading books and making food, but has to go on a journey. And why does he go on this epic journey? That's the decision. Was there a similar question that you posed to yourself? Am I prepared to do this? This is a journey that I might not come back from as an actor.
I knew I'd come back from it, but as Gandalf says to Bilbo, I can't guarantee you'll come back, and if you do, you will not be the same. So, the unknown is either a really, really attractive thing for people, or it can be a bit of a scary thing. Now, this obviously, doing The Hobbit in New Zealand is not a life and death thing, but it's a massive time commitment. It's as far as you can go on the planet Earth from London. So if you're someone who likes home, which I do, and which by the way I don't think makes me odd. I think most people I know like their home, which is why they've bought one. Then that is a big thing to consider. And also because I know my own boredom threshold, I like doing as much work as possible. I'm a typically sort of self-employed actor. I want to do this, then I want to do that, then I want to do the other. It was a thing to be mindful of, but obviously it's the sort of opportunity that doesn't kind of come knocking twice.
And it is a big adventure. Yeah. And I'm sure, you're financially secure by taking on this role, but there is a jeopardy, isn't there, for you as an actor, because you're taking a role that you will now always be associated for as long as you act. Yes, you will be Bilbo Baggins.
I will. I think the thing is I've done. That's definitely true, and I'm not naysaying any of that at all. But I've also done other roles that have followed me around a lot and that will follow me around a lot. Not as much in Kuala Lumpur as this probably will, but I've been kind of used over the last sort of 10, 12 years to people very much sort of identifying a role with me. So I've had some practice with it, and I've had some practice of that level of, I'm stopped a lot in my own country, and now I suppose I just might get stopped a lot in other people's countries. That's not why I did it. It's not something that I particularly look forward to in itself, but it's the price you pay for doing a very exciting role.
But over the years, you stopped for different reasons. First of all, you're Tim Winchester, then you stopped because you're John Watson. Now you're going to be stopped because you're Bilbo Baggins. And you talk about that.
I hope in the next 30 years I'll be stopped for doing something else I haven't done yet as well.
For your Hamlet, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
But you bring yourself to each role, though, don't you?
I don't see how you can't. I mean, I can't. I, honest to God, couldn't name a single role in the history of theatre or cinema where I'm not seeing the actor that I like. A single role that I like where I'm not seeing the person playing it. This sounds like I'm being defensive, and I probably am. But, I don't know when the last time you didn't know it was Meryl Streep you were watching, That doesn't make her not good. I know the last time you didn't know it was Robert De Niro you're watching. Doesn't make him not... No, I'm not comparing myself directly to those people.
Right.
I think something I sort of learned at drama school is it's not always desirable to even want to disappear into a thing, because I want to see you. That's the interesting bit. The whole thing of like disappearing and escaping via this other thing is kind of bullshit, I think. I think that the really good stuff is when I see what something actually means to you in the moment of playing it as well. That's not a reason just to kind of be a personality, and whether I'm playing Chekhov or whether I'm playing Shakespeare, it's all exactly the same because I just want to be a TV personality or whatever. How can it be anyone but you? You can't physically transubstantiate yourself into someone else.
What
it has to come via you.
To roles, though, every time is that sense of understatement. And you do that in The Hobbit, and that sets you apart, I think, from the rest of the cast, because there was
a much better actor than the rest of the cast.
Well,
You're right.
You're
right.
I think that's
Matt McCullin is a right
load
load of old rubbish. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, go on.
But were you encouraged, though, by Peter Jackson to enter that kind of mindset, that kind of declamatory style? Because you don't do that. You do it in the way that you play most roles, with a kind of a raise of an eyebrow or a furrow of the brow or a kind of a shrug. And there is that sense of understatement, which I think is just, gives us a great sense of humanity to all of the roles that you play.
Well, thanks. I mean, that's something. I think all acting should be believable, right? Now, so whether it's that sort of thing or whether it's Jimmy Cagney, who is a bigger actor, but I've never disbelieved anything he's ever said. I'm a big believer in knowing what play you're in, and certainly I can say the way I act as Bilbo is certainly not the way I would approach everything I do. It's certainly not, because it is a more presentational quality. It is a bigger thing. So I think within the thing of Middle Earth, I'm probably quite subtle. But compared to, if you put me in The Office and I was acting like Bilbo, I'd look like a ham bone. You know?
Have you ever acted with a sword before?
Maybe not since drama school.
Now, I wondered about something. A few years ago, you told me about your squash skills as a young man, and then possibly you were going to be a championship squash player. Is there any kind of interplay between, the racket and the sword? I mean,
I'm not bad. I'm not bad with something in my hand. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not bad with whacking things around. Yeah, I quite enjoy it.
Martin Freeman, The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey in 3D is released nationwide today, certificate 12A.